to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and you're about to listen to the Free Session Friday version, but without observing the whole hypnosis session, just the hypnosis at the end of that. So when I work with clients, I normally spend about half an hour, 45 minutes asking them lots of questions so that the hypnosis session that I do afterwards is entirely calibrated to them. So if you saw the previous version of Free Session Friday with Nathan, you would see the entire hour or so of me asking lots of questions and then the 30-minute hypnosis session that followed. But the normal format of the show is me just doing a very quick intro about the client and then you go straight into the hypnosis. So this is that version. If you want the full thing, just click on the previous episode. Free Session Friday, by the way, is an initiative where I give away a completely free 90-minute hypnosis session, and all you have to do is volunteer yourself or nominate someone. So if you like the idea of that, have a look at the link in the show notes and either nominate yourself or someone else and a reason why. It's completely free. The one caveat is that the recording gets shared in the same way that you're about to see me working with Nathan. Now, Nathan had severe anxiety and was not doing a lot of the things that he wanted to do. And that was things like traveling and going on holidays and even going to theme parks and just kind of enjoying his spare time. He would quite often not do those things because there was a lot of anxiety linked to the idea of either he isn't capable or something bad's going to happen. And a lot of the session you're about to listen to links to the idea of a premonition. Because when Nathan was younger, he had a premonition that something bad would happen to his father if his father didn't sell a sports car. And because the father did sell the sports car, in Nathan's mind, it was like he avoided a bad thing from happening because he had that premonition. Now, that isn't necessarily true because it can't be disproven if the car crash or the accident never happens, so it becomes self-reinforcing. But if that same thought process gets applied to lots of other things, even if things don't happen, the mind can always say, you got away with it, but next time you won't be so lucky. And therefore, it makes the world smaller. So if you can relate to this idea of having intuitive fears that stop you doing things, I think you're going to get some value from this session. And if you like the idea of having a free session with me, or you'd like to nominate someone, have a look at the link in the show notes. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be distracted or disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyes to close. And as they close, feel a wonderful feeling of release. That's it. And if you need to position your body in such a way where it becomes more comfortable, more relaxed, it's fine to do that now. That's it. And when you breathe in deeper than you normally would. And as you exhale, feel that wonderful feeling of release. As if that tension, stress, or worries is allowed to just be released in that outward breath. That's it. The deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. And as your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I want you to imagine what it would feel like to go back in time. Not to relive a memory, but to observe it. I want you to see yourself as a child. See yourself as a child when you were perhaps losing someone important to you. And I want you to see a child where a seed of an idea was planted. That bad things can happen. And it's your job to avoid them. And if you can observe a memory like that, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And then go forwards in time and see a child with intuition, a warning sign. I want you to see a child that a thought popped into their head. Something bad will happen unless you intervene. And I want you to feel a sense of empathy as you look at that child. They genuinely believed that if they did not influence, talk them into it, it would lead to a tragedy. And I want you to see a child that created a belief, even if not logically true, of being able to see the future and stop bad things from happening before they do. And if that feels like it would have been true as you observe the past, let me know by nodding your head. And here's the thing, that when you avoid bad things happening, if the bad thing doesn't happen, it proves you right. And therefore you have no idea of knowing if that intuitive avoidance was correct or incorrect. Because yes, you may have avoided that bad thing from happening. But what if there was such a low probability that felt higher probability because of the emotion and not because of the probability? I want you to entertain a different timeline. Not because it's true, but just because it's possible. I want you to see a future where in that moment, that childlike version of you felt the danger. But instead of thinking it was a premonition, thought, it's just a thought. It just means that you care about that person and you didn't want to leave or lose someone else important to you. And I want you to imagine observing a conversation a conversation that goes along the lines of, I'm worried that something bad might happen. But instead of them selling a car, I want you to see them give you a sense of reassurance that they will drive safely. And I want you to follow that timeline of observing your father have lots of fun, adventure, and experiences. Country roads with a smile on his face. And nothing bad happens. That doesn't mean that there won't be the occasional flat tire, scratch on the paintwork, but nothing catastrophic, everything manageable. And if you could imagine that different timeline, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. I want you to go forwards in time and see a moment where you were a teenager, in a moment where you were carefree. That voice inside your head hadn't got its claws in too much at that point. I want you to see a version of you that had fun, sometimes did things where there was an element of risk or danger, and yet things were fine. And if you can observe that time in your life, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to think of a time where you did do something adventurous, perhaps even reckless, because you felt that you had the resources to deal with it, to cope, to manage. And when you find that memory, let me know. That's it. Drift into your body, take a first-person perspective, and feel how it feels to evaluate the risks and do the thing. And just scan for what that internal voice is like when you operate from that place. A place of believing in your capabilities, in your resources, in your resilience. I want you to get a sense that it feels like the world is a very big place. That in that moment, if you decided to travel the world, you could. In that moment, if you decided to visit a city you'd never been before and just figure it out, you could. I want you to get a sense of what it feels like when you trust in your resourcefulness and resilience. Notice that inner dialogue is different. Much more of, yes, you can. You'll figure it out. You don't need to know all the answers right now. You've got this. And just turn up the volume of that inner dialogue. And just imagine giving it the front seat, the closest possible to you. That voice of possibility, of adventure, of taking a risk because the risk is worth taking. And I want you to imagine what that would feel like. And if that feels positive, empowering, resourceful, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I want you to get a sense that there has been another part within you trying to warn you of danger. And let's go to the point in time but this started to be at its most influential. Maybe there was a memory, a moment. It said something, you felt something, you listened to it, and your world got slightly smaller. But not a week ago, let's go all the way back decades ago, where this first started to influence you. And if you can see that moment or that time in your life, just let me know. And I want you to get a sense that you know what that future looked like, because you lived it. That voice was allowed to be more and more influential, month by month, year by year. And what happened is that your world got smaller and your anxiety got more sensitive. You know what life is like on that path. So let's explore a different. Not with the absence of that voice, but your ability to give it the level of influence that it deserves. I want you to imagine stepping into your body at that age and hearing that tonality. This will happen, that will happen, you can't do this. But instead of listening to that voice, imagine smiling. Imagine harnessing that adventurous, courageous part within. And just imagine saying, let's see. You've heard the warning, and you do the thing, and nothing happens, except you have a good experience. And then the next day, there's something you want to do, and that warning voice is there. You'll mess this up, you can't do that, it won't work out. Imagine smiling and just saying, let's see. And then feel like you do the thing. And I want you to imagine that becomes a pattern. You hear the warning, but rather than accepting it as truth, you test it against reality. And if it turns out that this voice is horribly inaccurate, it's wrong about almost everything, let me know by nodding your head. But it came from a good place. It came from a place of wanting to protect you, to avoid problems and danger. But that voice had an idea that you were weak, incapable, that you were fragile, and none of that was true. The irony being that every time you listened, the voice got stronger and you got weaker. A good intention, but founded on fear, not founded on actual risk or level of threat. And I want you to imagine what it would feel like to have a year of every time there's a warning, a worry, a rumination. It's either not believed, discredited, or perhaps just done anyway. Let's see, let's find out. I have a feeling it will all be fine. And I want you to get a sense This builds resilience, confidence. Your world expands. And that voice, the voice of worry and fear, becomes further and further away. On that bus with 100 seats, it gets further and further away, so even if it talks, it sounds quieter. You can't really hear it. And I want you to imagine sitting down with that part. And maybe it looks like you did at a particular age. Or maybe it looks like something else. And I want you to thank that part for its intention. It's been trying to protect you, to keep you safe. But I want you to connect with that part. All of the things that you've missed out on. The experiences you didn't have. Regrets. Friendships that dwindled. Job opportunities that ship sailed away. Stream all of that to that part that was trying to keep you safe. Until it realizes it wasn't keeping you safe. It was keeping your life small, limited, like a dog on a leash that just wants to run and run. And if that part now realizes that its good intention caused all that pain, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I want you to offer that part a way back. Give it a choice. The choice is either it's only allowed to be influential when it becomes accurate again, where it warns you of genuine risks with genuine consequences, and that would require an element of evaluation before it even makes it on your radar. That's one option. To do what it was always trying to do, but effectively. Not being frightened of shadows, but only warning you of genuine threats that could actually negatively affect your life. Real dangers, tangible dangers. That's option one. And maybe it would need to go away and figure out how to do that, but it can. Because it wants to keep you safe. The second option is atonement. It has deprived you of experiences and connection and fun and life for 30 years. If it wants to atone for that, then what if it takes the same structure of fear and danger, but just shifts it into all the things that could go right? Instead of what if bad things happen, it now has the job to make up for 30 years of missing out. So the next 30 years is 30 years of experience, connection, moments. That same voice that was so influential would now have a new responsibility to encourage you to think of what's possible instead of warning you to not. It inspires you to do. The mantra is, you'll be fine, why not? Give it a go. Everything will be fine. And even if it's not, you can handle it. And you can gauge the reaction from this part. If it would rather still be a merchant of fear, but get better at it, or still be that source of premonition, but now imagine a future where things go the way you want them to go. A future of aspiration, possibility, a wonderful future. Now maybe you can get a read of what it would rather do. Atone and shift or increase competency. But be clear with that part. The status quo is no more. Any attempt to warn you of petty, minor issues, you're not having it. You don't believe it, and you're going to have confidence in your abilities and capabilities. You don't want to banish this part. You either want this part to be good and effective, or help make up for everything it's deprived you of. It doesn't have to decide now. The evidence will be your life. When that voice returns, it has a choice. 3 choices: to remain the same and be ignored, perhaps even banished; to only speak up when there's genuine dangers; or to have a bit more hope, belief, to evaluate your capabilities rather than limitations, and to show you and inspire you to do what's possible. Life itself will let you know what its choice has been. But think about what you would do if it tries to remain the same that it was. If you feed it with compliance, you are choosing 30 years more of all of that anxiety and limitation. If you starve it of compliance, you force it to either get better or adapt positively. And I want you to imagine you're not reliant on any of these changes, because you are changing regardless. It would be nice to have a voice of adventure, excitement, and possibility, but it's not necessary. You can simply choose to do all those things you wanted to do. And I want you to imagine seeing a different version of you, that something has rippled through space and time into your present. The toothpaste has left the tube. The status quo cannot remain. And I want you to see a version of you that over the next few days plans something. And even if there is anxiety, nothing will stop you. Doing the thing, irrespective of how you feel, forces the brain to change how you feel in the future. And I want you to imagine you see yourself arranging something perhaps as a surprise. And I want you to see a smile in that version of you, calling the bluff on these 30 years of holding you back. A statement of intent. Enough is enough. And that is what changes everything. So I want you to imagine what it looks like. Perhaps a day out. Lots of people. Lots of traffic perhaps, and none of it phases you. And even if it does, nothing deters you. Consider this, a line in the sand. And then imagine yourself 1 year from now. A year of saying yes when you would have said no. A year of making plans that otherwise you would have avoided. And then doing those plans. And notice it gets easier and easier until a year from now, you see yourself with the facial expression, the mannerisms of that adventurous, confident, capable version of you that was always there. It was simply suppressed. But now it's risen to the surface, and life can be lived the way you want to live it once more. And if you can imagine that future, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. I want you to step into that future, no longer observe it, feel it. Feel it 1 year from now. Of doing things, and there's just an absence of that old voice, and instead a feeling of, I'll be fine. I've got this. Certain things that used to feel impossible are now easy and second nature. That's how the brain adapts, changes. And allow this thought to ripple backwards and forwards in time. That old voice gets quieter or changes to something more useful. It's time to flow back to the present, taking all these changes with you. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Connect and calibrate into the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.